everybody. My name's AParator54, aka Adam. Today I'm bringing you my YCL Season 5 Upload Draft Analysis. I was third overall pick, which is rather lucky in this draft. I believe we got 110 points for exactly 11 Pokemon. I decided I want to try a new playstyle. I'll show what it is later on once the team develops. But a majority of the team, except for two, are Pokemon I haven't used in draft before as far as Wi-Fi. I've used them for like a couple weeks in Showdown, but that's about it. Alright, for 11 points, my first overall pick, and led me to the path I'm on now, with quite a bit of help from Pat Mack when I was trying to figure out what my best forms of momentum, hazards, and everything else would be for this team after I did my first overall pick. I got Urshifu Single Strike. I have wanted to try this mon just to see how physically offensive this thing is. Like, I normally want to destroy this thing whenever I see it in a matchup, so I've never been on the side of the person controlling it. Dark Fighting, Unseen Fist, goes through Protect, Wicked Blow crits, Sucker Punch, access to bulk up, you name it, can set up itself. The mon does literally a lot, and at 163 speed for its max speed, that is actually pretty good. But it's covered of, I believe it gets Iron Head, Poison Jab, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch. I believe it gets Fire Punch as well. Elemental coverage is amazing. But most importantly, to save itself, because it's time for weak to Fairy, it's weak to Bug, and it's weak to Fighting. Being able to U-turn out into a safe pivot is amazing. Say I have a Fighting type in front of me, or a Bug type in front of me, or a Fairy type in front of me, it leads me to my next overall pick that it has a safe switch in for all of those options, is Jirachi. I've used this once in a BDSP league. That's it. I don't technically count that because I died immediately when I used it. Well, a couple turns later. I died to a Blaziken in rain when I used this. Access to Serene Grace, 100 in every base stat, gets up to 167 speed, but just to have the Scarf Ironhead option to just flinch you down, access to Doom Desire to catch a Fairy 2 turns later that wants to come in and check Urshifu. It has to switch out, or it takes damage at the end of the turn. Future Sight to catch the Fighting types, the Poison types is also super good. This gets access to Healing Wish, which is a move that hovers. The next time a Pokemon comes in on my team that has already taken damage comes in, it fully heals it, and if it's status, it removes the status. But the bonus on this is if hazards are up, it fully heals you, then subtracts the hazard damage from that. Say they have rocks and spikes up, well, 2 layers of spikes and a rock can put you at 2/3 health, depending on the Pokemon. Or if you heavy resist that, you're not even taking 20%. Say if you're like a mon like Excadrill takes 25 from both of those, depending on how many layers of spikes. But this also gets access to Wish as well, and access to U-Turn, which helps me able to U-Turn into something that resists what kills this, which would be Fire, Ghost, and Ground. So if I know I outspeed them, I will, and I've already gotten the Wish up, I will U-Turn out into my pivot, let it take the damage, and then fully heal. Simple as that. Jirachi was 10 points, and it's well worth the value because it also gets screens, it gets T-Wave, it gets Toxic, it gets Stealth Rocks. So this is my first Stealth Rocker. This thing's incredibly bulky. It has the option of Cosmic Power and setting up, and like say a weakness policy. It's just good. This also has a safe pivot as well with my next Pokemon that I got for 6 points. I believe this was an absolute steal. I got Talonflame. Access to Flame Body, Gale Wings. With heavy duty boots on this and full health, priority defog, priority tailwind, priority brave bird, dual wing beat, you name it. Loses its items, acrobatics does a crap ton, especially after one's sword stance. This thing's incredibly fast. It's 195 speed max at level 50, which is 1 point faster than Weavile. So this puts it in a situation, like for example against Weavile, it has to be Scarf if it wants to outspeed this. Or launch off an Ice Shard, which this takes neutral damage from, allowing this to set up freely on a mon like that. That, and with access to Flame Body, this can be a switch in to try and get a 30% chance to burn them. This hits a physical threat. Okay, now they're burned. They're not doing much damage to me unless it's a rock type move, which I am times 4 weak to. I just roost back to full or as much health as I need, and this also gets U-turn and I get out of there. Access to Toxic, access to Tailwind, access to Roost, Flare Blitz, Sword Stance. This is just an offensive threat. It's just gonna hit hard, and if it can't, it just gets out of there. This is probably gonna do more support for my team than anything because of the defog, but I'm probably gonna use it as an immediate pivot to go right back into Urshifu or Jirachi to dodge a rock move, because they just chew it, and then they'll be able to kill whatever threatens the Talonflame. That was pick number 3 of the draft. Now things got very interesting. I was honestly surprised this was still here in turn 4, and it's for 6 points. I got Vikavolt, which is a massive Trick Room threat, and one of the best ways for me to have speed control, especially against a Trick Room, is this thing. 43 base speed, and it tops out at 104. This thing gets agility, iron defense, roost. It gets charge beam to boost itself. It gets access to energy ball, volt switch, toxic, thunder wave. It gets mainly sticky webs is what it's going to be setting. This is a defensive check with a max HP, max defense for a rocky helmet. This just sponges, and then when it gets low, you just roost off the damage. So your opponent hurts themselves more than you. This it's weak to rock, just like Vikavolt. Sorry, just like Talonflame. But this is able to Volt Switch out. This is pressure on any ground type because of Levitate. I have 2 switch-ins to safely go to with Jirachi to stop an Earthquake or an Earth Power. This is able to run agility and be faster than mid-speed Pokemon and still be an offensive threat if it wanted to still have bulk. This is able to chew electric and flying moves. This chews grass. I believe. Yeah, it takes a lot to kill this thing because of its resistances. But mainly that's for a Trick Room team answer. I have this, and as well as webs. In the past, this has been my reliable web setter, even better than Galvantula, because of the typing, the bulk, and the ability. So for 6 points, this mon was definitely worth it. Especially with 130 base special attack. Good lord. Minus speed and Trick Room, this just is an immediate answer. And this is where it gets spicy, because when it returned back to me for round 5, I reached out to PackMac and I'm like, so I want a bulky ground that's going to be able to switch into every single type weakness I currently have and just sponge, but also be able to be an offensive threat on its own. We talked about Seismitoad, we talked about Gastrodon, we talked about Quagsire, and inevitably I grabbed it because I've always wanted to use it, because I've always been on the receiving end of it. I grabbed Seismitoad for not only Water Absorb, but Swift Swim. Because I believe a Rain team was drafted, and so was a Dracovish team. So, I need an answer for that. It can't... Oh, Vikavolt's not going to be able to take the Dracovish hit. Jirachi's not going to 100% be able to take the Dracovish hit. This is my Dracovish answer. This is my Rain answer. This is my Sand answer. All in one mon. It's phenomenal in Swift Swim. Can be physical or offensive. Gets access to Stealth Rocks, Toxic, access to Poison Touch. So I can just hit a switch in and potentially poison it, which is amazing. This gets access to Grass Knot, Power Whip, Ice Punch, Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave. In Rain, you just sweep with a Life Orb, because this gets access to Weather Ball, which is base 100 and boosted by the rain, so it becomes base 140 plus stab, so now it's 195. That hit's gonna hurt. Doesn't matter if you resist it, that hit is going to hurt. So yeah, I got Seismitoad for 7 points. Phenomenal mon. I look forward to using it. And then we got interesting because it came back to me again, and I was torn between 3 of the best ghost types left. Gengar, Mimikyu, Spectre. I've already used Mimikyu. It's fun. It's predictable. You just status it and it just wears away. Spectre, I just wish it had more. So, for 9 points in round 6, I'm surprised this sat this long. I picked up the monstrous threat that is Gengar. It may get up to 178 speed and be outsped, but this thing has a Scarf Sweeper. If you get rid of its resist and it just locks into Shadow Ball or Sludge Wave, it's just over. If you don't have Sucker Punch, Cell Rock, or a way to answer this priority-wise and it outspeeds you, you're in trouble. This gets access to Toxic, Destiny Bond, to Suicide Lead and take a massive... Their huge threat with me is amazing. Gets access to Dazzling Gleam, which answers Dark and Fighting types. Gets access to Psychic. Gets access to Focus Blast, answer Steel types. Can answer mons like Toxapex. Can answer other poison types. Gets access... What is it? Energy Ball. Thunder. The mon's just amazing. And for 9 points, I think it's well worth it. I've never used one, so this is going to be a learning experience. But I also love that this, like Seismitoad, also gets knockoffs. So I have answers for people spamming Eviolite. Because I can just bring this in, they'll think it's Scarf. They're going to want to switch. I have a knockoff coming in. Now they have no item. Alright, I could be Scarf knockoff myself. That's fine, because I'm just going to switch this out. It doesn't take much from Stealth Rocks either, which is kind of nice. But that's our 6th overall pick. Now, I wanted not only momentum, I wanted Tailwind. I wanted defog, and I wanted coverage all in the same mon. This mon also sat. I got Savali round 7. It does all of those things I needed to do in one Pokemon. That and I can be any type based off a matchup. Have defog, have Tailwind, have Flame Charge to increase my own speed, access to Swords Dance, access to Parting Shot to just be annoying, access to Toxic and Thunder Wave. This gets Ice Beam, Steel Beam, Thunderbolt. It gets so much coverage that it's basically a toolbox, which is what I need support-wise. It gives me a Ghost Immunity for Gengar and Jirachi. It gives me a Fire Resist for Vikavolt. It gives me a Rock Resist for Talonflame, depending on what type I am. If I'm Rock, it resists Rock. Well, they don't really resist. They just don't take much damage from each other. But to me, it's amazing mon. It's fun. This and Vikavolt are the legit only 2 I've used on this entire team I'm revealing today. So this is going to be a learning experience. That was my round 7. Now, round 8, I sniped a bunch of people, and I'm sorry to Harry for how many times I sniped you in this draft, but this is a mon that I could not resist having. I finally got to draft Wigglytuff, which is a Ghost and a Dark Resist and a neutral resist to fighting, all in one Pokemon. Access to Wish, access to Heal Bell, access to Counter. I've seen this thing take a Gunk Shot from a banded Passimian and then nuke it right back with Dazzling Gleam. That is insane. This gets access to Teleport and Baton Pass. You wish, and because you're slow, and you know something can't chunk you down, you just teleport out safely because you go second into one of the above mons and just get a free heal. That is amazing. But most importantly, this gets Frisk. This lets me see what their items are. I see Scarf. I know what to do to counter that. I see Assault Vest. Okay, I know I need to knock off. I see Focus Sash. I know I need to get hazards. I see a berry, especially a resist. Like, say they have a dark resist berry. I know Urshifu's gonna have to severely wear down the other Pokemon in order to crit through with the Wicked Blow to where it kills. But yeah, this gets a lot of coverage, both physical and special wise. This even gets Pain Split. Okay, so this comes in on a dark type. They know they can't stay in. This Pain Splits, and they get the difference of health. Okay, so I chip you down just for free and I go back to full health. That's annoying. This gets Toxic. This gets Thunder Wave. Also annoying. But this is a Heal Beller to cure all the status from this team as well as past wishes to it, which is amazing. This was only 2 points. I just gotta say, wow. For my next pick, okay, Sand was drafted, Rain was drafted, and I think Sun was drafted. Okay, I wanted to have fun. I grabbed Cloud9 Altaria. Okay. Resist Sand. Resist Sun. Resist Rain. Doesn't like the hail, though. But that's fine, because I cancel out Slush Rush. I cancel out Sand Rush. I cancel out Swift Swim, and I cancel out Chlorophyll. This gets access to Dragon Dance. And it's actually pretty bulky being Dragon Flying. Having a ×4 resist to grass is amazing, especially with a mon like Rillaboom's out there. Being able to just switch this thing in and not even take 20%, unless it's banded, that's like 33. It's amazing, especially from a move like Woodhammer. Grassy Glide doesn't do anything to this, so that's a soft chip. This gets Fire Spin and Perish Song, so you have the option of being that set. And access to Fly, basically you just trade this for a mon running that set. This gets access to Dragon Dance and Cotton Guard. So this, again, it's a physical threat or something that can immediately kill this, and you Dragon Dance up, and then they bring in, say, a physical threat against this. Cotton Guard in front of it. Weakness policy activates. Now what? I'm +1 speed. Now what? Bye. This has Heal Bell as well, which is amazing because I got 2 clerics back to back. So this is going to be fun to use. I've used Mega Altaria successfully. It's a gamble. But I've never used Base, which is ×4 weak to Ice, which is resisted by Wigglytuff, Stafali, depending on the type. Seismitoad, Vikavolt, Talonflame is neutral, Jirachi resists, Urshifu resists. This thing also has safe switch-ins, just like the rest of my team. And it was 3 points. That's amazing. Especially with everything this thing can do. Round 10, I was like, you know what? I don't have a grass. I don't have a rock. Let's get our 4th Stealth Rocker. And 2nd, Water Immunity incredibly. This team answers Dracovish super hard. This gets Storm Drain. This gets Suction Cup. Suction Cup makes it to say if I know I see a Skarmory and it wants to do the Whirlwind set, this can't be blown out. And then this just traps Skarmory, unless it's a U-turn, and just sets up in front of it with a Meteor Beam, which is insane. This gets access to Mirko, Recover. I believe it gets Pain Split as well. Gets access to Meteor Beam, Stone Edge, Energy Ball, Giga Drain, Brine for a Water type move, which is it's pretty useless though because it's got to be less than 50% of their health to do double damage. This gets access to Toxic, Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb. Yeah, this is a phenomenal Pokemon. And it's got, I believe it was base 97 defense and 107 SPDEF is phenomenal. Especially with 86 HP and its typing. You're neutral to fire, you're neutral to grass, you resist neutral to flying. This resists a lot. This checks ground types. It's bulkier than you think, and then you just kill them back, or set rots, or just be annoying. One Leech Seed from this is going to make people want to switch out. But anyways, time for the funnest pick of the draft. A mon I've wanted to use for a long time. Lord Helix himself, Omastar. This gets access to Swift Swim, Shell Armor, and Weak Armor. But with the base, I believe it was 115 special attack, is amazing. This gets access to Meteor Beam, Shell Smash, Stealth Rocks, Spikes, Toxic Spikes, which is amazing. Gets access to Rock Polish as well, gets access to Reflect type, gets access to Rain Dance to do manual rain for Seismitoad. Shell Smash into Power Meteor Beam is an absolute nuke with this thing if they don't have an immediate threat to it. Its max speed level 50 is 117, which isn't bad as a Shell Smash because that gets to 234, which is faster than mid-speed Scarfers, which is amazing. But if rain is up, it's over. This thing just sits there. If it kills you, it's done. This doesn't always have to Shell Smash. It can be a Hazard Setter League. It's just all around good. It even gets Toxic. So for 3 points, this is going to be super fun to use. But here's the best thing about this team. It has 5 Stealth Rockers, a Spike Setter. It has a T-Spike Setter. It has a Sticky Web Setter. It has 3 Clerics, 3 Defoggers. It has 4 things with knockoff. It has 2 times 4 weak mons to grass with a +3 grass resist. How often can you say that? Good lord. I look forward to using this team this season. I'm going to have to gen some of this team and practice with it because I've only used 2 out of the 11. So this is going to be an interesting experience. Hopefully I can do well. Stay tuned for I believe a week from now, week 1 will be going up if you guys are watching this on the day it premieres. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. And enjoy the rest of the season. I'm going to do my best for you guys. Have a good night.